Hey everyone, welcome back to Mental Health for Creators. If you're new here, this channel is all about productivity, creativity, and avoiding burnout. So if you want to stay inspired and create your best work, make sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. Hey, let's be real for a second. When was the last time you actually stopped, like really paused, to look back at your creative journey? Not just a quick, oh yeah, I've come a long way, but a deep, honest reflection on where you started, what you've learned, how much you've grown, and where you want to go next. If your answer is, never, or I'm too busy creating to stop and reflect, then this is for you. Because here's the truth. If you don't take time to reflect, you'll get stuck in autopilot mode, chasing the next thing without ever appreciating how far you've come. And worse, you might keep making the same mistakes over and over without even realizing it. So today, we're diving deep into why reflection is such a powerful tool for creativity, how it can transform your work and your mindset, and practical ways you can start reflecting without it feeling like just another task on your to-do list. Let's get into it. 1. The creative journey is a marathon, not a sprint. You've probably heard this before, but it's worth repeating. Creativity isn't a one-time event. It's a journey. And like any long journey, if you don't stop to check the map once in a while, you might end up going in circles. Or worse, heading in a direction that doesn't actually make you happy. When you're constantly focused on what's next, the next project, the next video, the next article, the next painting, you can forget to appreciate what's behind you. But every great creator takes time to reflect. Think about it. Musicians listen to their old songs to see how their sound has evolved. Writers look back at their early work and sometimes cringe, but also see how their storytelling has improved. Filmmakers study their past films to refine their visual style. Reflection isn't about getting stuck in the past. It's about learning from it, celebrating your growth, and making intentional choices for the future. 2. Reflection helps you see patterns, good and bad. Ever feel like you keep running into the same creative struggles over and over? Like no matter how hard you try, you always get stuck at a certain point? That's because we all have creative patterns. Some good, some not so much. Maybe you start projects with tons of excitement, but struggle to finish them. Maybe you always overthink your ideas and end up never putting them out. Maybe you work best under pressure, but it also burns you out. When you take time to reflect, you start to see these patterns clearly. And once you see them, you can start making conscious changes. For example, if you realize you always procrastinate until the last minute, maybe you experiment with setting smaller deadlines. If you notice that your best ideas come when you're not actively working, like in the shower or on a walk, maybe you start building more thinking time into your routine. If you find that you keep getting bored with long-term projects, maybe you need to structure your work in a way that keeps it fresh. Reflection isn't just about looking back. It's about using what you learn to move forward smarter. 3. It helps you reconnect with your why. Why did you start creating in the first place? Seriously, what made you pick up that camera, that pen, that instrument, that paintbrush? When you first start a creative journey, you're usually driven by passion, curiosity, or a deep love for the craft. But as time goes on, life happens. Deadlines, pressure, expectations, comparison. And sometimes you lose touch with that original spark. Reflecting helps you reconnect with your why. It reminds you of the joy, the excitement, the reason you fell in love with creating in the first place. And if you realize your why has changed, that's okay too. Maybe at first you created just for fun, but now you want to make an impact. Maybe you started as a hobby, but now you're doing it professionally. Taking time to reflect helps you check in with yourself and make sure you're still creating for the right reasons. Your reasons. 4. You can see how much you've grown and actually celebrate it. Look, I get it. It's easy to focus on what's not working, on the things you haven't accomplished yet. But when was the last time you actually gave yourself credit for how far you've come? Here's a challenge. Go back and look at your first piece of content. Your first video, your first blog post, your first artwork, your first project. At first, you might cringe. Trust me, we all do. But then, take a second and notice how much your skills have improved, how your style has evolved, how much more confident you are in your work. Too often, we're so focused on what's next that we forget to appreciate what we've already done. Reflection gives you a chance to step back and say, wow, I've actually grown a lot. And that's something worth celebrating. 5. It helps you set better goals that actually matter. If you never stop to reflect, how do you know if your goals still make sense? Maybe a year ago, your goal was to hit 100,000 subscribers. But now, you realize you actually care more about engagement than numbers. Maybe you thought you wanted to write a book, but you're happier writing shorter pieces. By reflecting, you can ask yourself, are my current goals still aligned with what I actually want? Am I chasing something because I want it, or because I think I should want it? What's been working for me, and what hasn't? Goals should evolve as you evolve. But if you never stop to reflect, you might keep chasing things that don't actually fulfill you. 6. It gives you space to breathe and reset. Creativity isn't just about doing. It's also about processing. If you're constantly moving from one project to the next without stopping, you don't give yourself time to recharge. Taking intentional time to reflect, whether it's through journaling, walking, meditating, or just sitting in silence, gives your brain the space it needs to reset. And sometimes, that's when your best ideas come. How to make reflection a habit, without it feeling like homework. Okay, so we've covered why reflection matters. Now let's talk about how to actually do it, without it feeling like just another chore. 1. The one-question rule. If journaling feels overwhelming, start with just one question. What's one thing I learned from my creative journey this week? What's one mistake I want to avoid repeating? What's one thing I'm proud of? 2. The past versus present comparison. Every few months, look back at your old work and compare it to now, not in a judgmental way, but in a growth-focused way. 3. Talk it out. Reflection doesn't have to be a solo thing. Talk to a friend, a fellow creator, or even record a voice memo of your thoughts. Sometimes, saying things out loud makes them clearer. Final thoughts. Give yourself permission to pause. Creativity is a journey, not a race. Taking time to reflect isn't a waste of time. It's an investment in your growth. It helps you see where you've been, appreciate where you are, and make better choices for where you're going. So if you've been feeling stuck, uninspired, or just overwhelmed, take a moment to pause. Look back, reflect, and remind yourself, you're doing better than you think. Now go create. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.